Unless you're an FPV recluse that's been flying in the Himalayas for the last few years, you probably already know about HDZero. No? Well, the HDZero project is an open source digital uncompressed video system developed by DiviMath that's extremely low latency. It's just a few milliseconds. That importantly is a fixed pixel and frame latency. It's designed from the ground up to have an excellent long range and multipath performance and was primarily targeted at racers and fast acro pilots. But if it works for them, it will work for everyone. The external HDZero module has been around for a while. It straps onto your existing analog goggles, but these are the dedicated HDZero goggles from DiviMath that everyone's been waiting for. This isn't a beta version or an early production unit. I've managed to get my hands on this pair of full production ones delivered to the UK direct from DiviMath. And you can tell they're production units because they're all branded up, they're labelled up underneath, and they got a red on-off switch. So if yours are on the way, this is what's going to be delivered. Now, these have been available to pre-order for a while at $599 direct from DiviMath. But they've just been reduced to $495 if you hurry and order them now. But it has to be direct. If you've already pre-ordered at the higher price, DiviMath will give you store credit for the difference, and that's almost enough to get you a couple of their new Nano 90 cameras. Now, I'm sure you're thinking that's an expensive pair of goggles, but remember, these are the gold standard for low latency digital and analog systems. You get micro OLED displays at 1080p capable of giving you the best HDZero experience and also the best analog experience because of the unique deinterlacer when you're using this with an analog module plugged in the side here. So, after all that waffling, let's have a proper look at these. Hello, and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. These are very high quality goggles and they immediately feel premium grade. They've clearly used fantastic mouldings and there's no nasty creaking and there's no sink marks anywhere in the case, and it's this fantastic satin white. Trust me, white is the best colour when you're out on a hot day. Over here you've got the menu navigation wheel and there's a select button in the middle, and this is very different from the usual rocker joysticks that others are using, and actually is a much better solution. You're using this by touch when you've got the goggles on, so you're effectively blind, and this is a much more intuitive way to select things. It's just so obvious which way you turn the wheel and where the select button is. Over here is a switch to stop and start DVR recording, and again it's got some little bumps on it so you can feel where it is. As well as the defogging fan on the top here, there's another couple of cooling fans on the side, one there and one there, just to keep all the internals cool. And you get 4 SMA antenna connectors on this, and the recommended arrangement seems to be 2 Omnis on the top and a patch on each side at the front, and they provided these rails in the case for patches that will slide on here. I've got some 3D prints to put mine on, but I'm sure there'll be lots of aftermarket solutions for this. After all, this is all open source software and hardware. You get a proper slider on-off switch. It's red in the production version, and there's a standard barrel DC power input just here. Now you can run this on anything between 7 and 25 volts, so a 2 to 6S battery works fine, and you connect up with this included cable. Now quite honestly, I'd feel pretty uncomfortable running this on 6S. I tend to use 3S on all my other goggles, but the option's there if you want it. So, out of interest, how much current do these draw when they're turned on? Well, I've got it powered up with my desktop power supply, talking to this Mobula 7 HDZero. Everything's talking, I can see there's an image in there. And this is drawing, well, let's have a look. So that is drawing 0.78 amps at 16.8 volts, which is 4S. Anyway, I thought you'd just like to know. On the bottom, there's a 3.5mm standard AV input. You've got the slot for your SD card, and there's a mini HDMI input. And over here, there's the head tracker output, because it's got a gyro in it. There's a connector here for the included HDZero firmware update. You get the cable included. And there's a 3.5mm headphone socket. And just like on your PC, this includes a microphone input. So that means you can record a voiceover for your flights directly onto the DVR SD card using an external mic if you want to. And one of the most useful things ever, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the first time I've ever seen it on any goggles, a mini HDMI output. And that means you can display what you see on your goggles on an external monitor or even live stream it. And that includes all the OSD info that you see in here. And I've been waiting for that for so long. Now on this side, you can clip an analog module into this bay here. You have to buy this little mounting module clip thing here. It's separate. And it's a multi-pin connector that you plug on there. You just plug that in, put your module in, and usefully, just down there, there's a small screw hole if you want to fix this in more permanently. And I've also heard there's a Wi-Fi module in development that'll plug in here so you can live stream the goggle display wirelessly. And that'll be something really interesting to see. One of the technical reasons that these are so good is the way that the OLED displays are driven. With the existing HDZero modules that you add to your old analog goggles, the HDZero video signal has to use HDMI to drive whatever goggle display that you're using. Now these are very different. The HDZero output drives the OLED displays directly, so there's no intermediate HDMI signal needed. And that massively improves the quality and the latency. And also, when you're using an analog module on here, the hardware and the firmware do a much better job of deinterlacing the analog video scan lines than the external HDZero bolt-on module. So you end up with a really crisp analog image on these OLED displays with none of that odd digital fuzzy shimmer that you can get. And the optics side of things doesn't skimp either. The IPD space adjustment on here is 55 to 70mm, and this adjuster is just about the right amount of stiffness to stay in place and not be too difficult to move about. The diopter dial, this gives you -6 to +6 in each eye with this detent wheel, and if this gets knocked in your flight bag, this dial is very nicely labelled so you can quickly reset it to where you had it before. Now you can use diopter correction lenses in here if you need to. They just slide in under here. Like other goggle manufacturers, you might think that's not necessary if there's a built-in diopter adjustment. But if you've got astigmatism, the built-in adjuster isn't going to be any real use. And this has been very well thought out by DiviMath. It covers everything. You get a couple of replaceable face plates. You get this narrow one and you get a wide one. They just clip on. And this nice soft foam gasket here, it fixes to the faceplate with Velcro, so you can easily remove it. And for me, this narrow faceplate is perfect. It's extremely comfortable and there's no light leaks. So, just how comfortable are these? Well, I've wasted lots of money on goggles over the years, and quite simply, these are the most comfortable I've used. I've always found my Sky Zones are the best, and my DJI goggles are, well, horrid. And after suffering them for nearly 2 years, these are a total revelation. The fit is great, and for me, there's zero light leaks. It's really very good. And importantly, they're nicely balanced so you don't put all the weight on your nose. DJI could learn a lot from these. These weigh around 360 grams, which is about 50 grams heavier than the Sky Zones with the HDZero module on the front. Or the DJI goggles, which are, what, 400 grams? These are much lighter. Now, despite being a bit heavier than the Sky Zones, they really don't feel like it. And I think that's down to the faceplate fit, the balance, and this fantastic fat strap. I haven't seen any goggles that come with a decent strap as standard. And this one, well, it's extremely comfy, and it's got this little sewn in loop here, or pocket, for a battery. If you want it, you probably only get a 2S or something in there. And this is fixed to the goggles with these secure metal press studs. And these loops here, they're metal, not plastic. And this is all excellent design and build quality. It's fantastic. Now the DVR in here uses H.265 compression, which is more efficient than H.264. And generally it makes your video look a whole lot better. And if you're using the Nano 90 frames per second camera, this records at 90 frames per second on the DVR. Now this is great news, but it is slightly harder for your PC to process this footage when you come to edit it. And the menu system is just as impressive. They've chosen just the right colours and fonts to be really easy to read. And using the selector dial and the enter switch seem to be totally natural. You don't have to fumble about navigating around because it's a dial rather than a joystick, and the menus wrap. So when you scroll to the top menu item, you just keep turning the dial and it moves to the bottom menu item. So there's no unnecessary scrolling up and down. These goggles also support ELRS backpack, so if you're using Express LRS on your radio and receiver, you can change your video band channel and power settings just using your transmitter. You use the VTX administrator in the Express LRS Lua script on the radio to select the band, channel and power level that you want to use, and hey presto, your quad and your goggles will all just change at the same time. It really is fantastic. Now, this is even more useful when you're racing or flying with friends. It means the quad and the goggles don't even need to be turned on, which means you're not going to stomp all over everyone just to change your video channel. You just select the video channel and band and the power level on the transmitter here, and when everyone's ready, just power on your quad and your goggles, and they'll all sync up to the correct band and frequency. What could be better? And this is why open source systems like HDZero, Express ELRS and HTX are so powerful. They're designed by developers who use them and understand what the hobby and the community needs. They're not a huge conglomerate that designs something they think you need and lock you into their ecosystem and force you to register before you can even use them. Now, I haven't had that much chance to fly a lot with these, but the image quality, well, it's really good. My experience with the earlier HDZero module on my Sky Zones a while ago left me thinking it's got so much potential, but it was all just a little bit too flawed, so I reverted back to DJI. But these are so good now. There's still a bit of snow, but somehow it doesn't seem so noticeable in the goggles. Maybe it's the way the displays are directly driven by the HDZero hardware, or maybe it's just the excellent OLED displays themselves. Whatever, it's really very good. And I'm no great fast pilot, but it all feels very snappy and positive, and racers are going to absolutely love these. And because this is open source, this will improve over time as the devs add more functionality and just generally improve things. Open source projects, all open source projects, are fueled by new motivated developers contributing. There's no limit to where this will end up. If I'm honest, the only real limit is the FPV community's imagination. And although I haven't had a chance to test it yet, if the long range and the penetration and the multipath performance is as expected, I think we'll have DJI beaten pretty soon. Now, I have to thank my buddy Derek for very kindly loaning me these. He pre-ordered them direct from DiviMath way before I got my order in, and mine are still sitting in a queue somewhere. And I've linked his channel in the video description, so do take a look. He races competitively in the UK, and he's pretty fast. And I'm sure he's going to be clamouring to get his hands back on these. And I'm really hoping mine arrive soon so that I can give them a try with the new Nano 90 camera. These HDZero goggles and the whole open source ecosystem, including Linux, the open source OS that runs on these, has come a very, very long way. And I think 2023 will be the year for HDZero. So just as a reminder, these goggles support HDZero, Walk Snail and Analog VTX with the best-in-class experience at a very reasonable $495 direct from DiviMath. And by offering them at $495 direct, they're really encouraging the community to join in with all the HDZero fun. By cutting out the distributors and selling direct, support has also got to be more direct. There's no more wading through distributor excuses to get support. If you bought them from the manufacturer, that's who's going to support them. And my understanding is there's a support centre for these in the US, Europe, I think it's in Germany and China. And it's not just the goggles that are on offer at the moment. DiviMath are really pushing this, and the HDZero store has a freestyle bundle that includes the goggles, a freestyle VTX, an antenna, camera and a MIPI cable for $619.99. And there's a race bundle for $599.99 with a Nano 90 camera and a race VTX. Now, that might sound expensive, but when you add up the individual costs for each item in the bundle, you're getting an awful lot for your money and saving quite a bit. And it's going to be interesting to see what price these are when they hit your local shop later this year. Or maybe DiviMath will just stick to the direct sales model to keep the middlemen out, and the price is very keen for us. Things are going to get very exciting in 2023. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, why not subscribe, or maybe buy me a coffee to support the channel. It would be very much appreciated. And I'll see you next time.